member of the gallery and a relatively new member. So I can relate to Cassandra Petruchyk, who is giving our talk today, because she is also a new member of the gallery. I had my first show this year, and this is Cassandra's first show.
Yeah.
So I'm very pleased to introduce her and have her with us to talk about this work that she has up here, which I think is super interesting myself. And so I cannot wait to hear what she has to say about the context of it, what motivates her, and how it all comes together.
Okay, thank you. By the way, I apologize for my limited movement, but I think I told everybody about the sciatica problem, but anyway. So that's why I'm acting like this. But let me just introduce myself. I was just introduced. I'm Cassandra Petruchyk. I've been around art my whole life. My parents were artists. I probably, in the womb, I was doing it, I guess. And I was praised for it my whole life, for drawing and for art. I went to school for it as well, as I also went to school and taught biology for a while, or science. So I tried not to be an artist. Okay. Anyway, as far as, I'm going to just go through the points for this. Yes, Animal Nature, the name of the exhibit, and I have my statement for the exhibit over there. But basically, the works were selected from different series that I have. And on the 3rd Street Gallery site and on the InLiquid site and in Instagram and social media, you'll see that I have different series. One being the newest series, which is I call the Face series. So it's, people as opposed to other types of animals. Other series that are up here, wildlife series. This is local wildlife. I know her, Maiden. She's been a great influence to me and mentioned it in the statement. This is endangered species, a polar bear, another wildlife series. These are all local and just local wildlife right here, and endangered species. This is another little bit series that I did. It is similar to both of the series and also fits the animal statement, animal nature criteria. Basically, when I say, and I can go into that, but animal nature meaning that I'm talking about nature as in the character, emotions, which are in all my work, but also how we are animals and the characteristics of the classifications made by science, and what it means to be a living thing and what your needs basically are, and how if you don't get your needs met, then things happen to you, like you get sciatica later in life. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, and then my medium, people always want to know, why do you draw? You should go paint or whatever. But I love drawing. And right now, of course, I'm limited by how much I can move around, where I can work. But the feeling, I have a statement that I have more information on this on those sites that I mentioned, but to draw for me is only my brain and my hand are one, and I feel drawing comes to me, unlike math. Math it hurts my brain, drawing does the reverse. So I use a space in my brain that works. And drawing is just very intimate. And I think a form of communication as well. You communicate, and a picture's worth 1,000 words, but the drawing is very direct, very intimate, and I like the feel of a pencil on the Bristol board paper, so that makes a difference. And basically, overall, my goal is to be an advocate for the creatures that I draw, the animals, meaning human animals and wildlife. I also do pet portraits or rescued animals. I worked with the Humane Society. I volunteered early on, and with dogs and cats, and then later with wildlife. So these animals, when I saw them, were fighting for their lives and hurt by where we put them. Now, so I've mentioned the main points, which are the grouping, animal nature, the medium, the drawing, and my goal overall. Are there any questions?
So one thing you said that's very interesting is that you see these paintings as being advocates for those that you're these drawings,
Right.
excuse me, as being drawings that you are bringing them to us as an advocate for them. There's a lot of emotion in them, and that emotion feels very intense.
Yeah.
And angry itself. So I don't know, can you talk a little bit more? What do you mean by that when you say you think the paintings help advocate for that?
Oh, well, I think pain's always been, unfortunately, the subject of my work. I mean, I think that it's not just my pain, but I've listened, you know, when I started drawing, it was drawing the human figure, and it moved into animals. Actually, when I did the animals, I was trying to alleviate, I was trying to find therapy. But advocating mean, I think that we need to know, you know, my initial desire was when I worked at the Humane Society to actually be able to be an advocate by drawing those animals and then helping PETA or helping the Humane Society, but they didn't want to face the pain, they wanted cute little things. So, but I think that like anyone, I'm putting it out there for people to see and express. And I used to, when I started working, I did have people come up to me and tell me that their work helped them or they felt some connection. So, you know, when you know this creature or when you feel this way, which people have, you look at it and it's like music. I mean, I listen to music to make me, and then I feel like, you know, I'm not the only one. Or I actually, it was Sinead O'Connor, the musician, who really moved me. And just, I think that people, people feel pain. And I think that in this day and age, I think there's things going on that, you know, I don't agree with. And I feel like I need to say something or do something. And I think drawings are a good way to do it because they don't come across as aggressively as like writing it out, you know. It's been good for me because people like it and they can look at it and see what they see, but then they're not, you know, they can't say, oh, you said this, and then come after me with a gun or something if I put it on social media.
I mean, I'm struck by your technical ability. Can you talk a little bit about your training? Did you start with contour drawing and gesture drawing and some of those
okay.
sort of classic training methods?
Well, yeah, good question. Okay, well, no, I've been very fortunate now. Now, when I was growing up, it was different. But my mother, sitting behind you, she is, I would say, she's an artist and was complete art educator, you know, masters all the works. And she was my art teacher when I started drawing. And when I started drawing, I did this very light, little, you could hardly see it. It was very OCD looking drawings. But she just hammered and hammered and said, loosen up, loosen your line, loosen your line. And I was told that growing up as a child, and I was, you know, given rewards when I did it right. So I was fortunate to be trained, you know, from the beginning. And then from there, my artwork, my whole family, well, my father was an artist, but he, you know, I mean, art teacher as well. My, you know, grandmother's an art teacher. Then I was able to get into the schools and get connected with Louise Freshman Brown, who was my art teacher in college, who really helped me as well, and she helped me just get through college. And she worked with my mother. My mother taught her daughter, she taught me. So I was just, and then now Dan has helped me to fine tune. He's an incredible, behind Dan, okay, incredible art teacher and has helped me with my technical stuff, and I feel like the technical stuff has made this only better. So, I mean, I have been like lucky not only to get the paperwork of having an actual degree, I didn't go to art school because I was sick, but I did not want to go to art school because I wanted to be a doctor, and that dream was. But I mean, as a doctor, I wanted to go into women's issues, and I wanted to go into women's health, and I wanted to help, people, women, because, and nowadays I feel that again. I feel that women aren't treated correctly, and I've heard what's been said, and it's disgusting. And I think that women, our story, we need to be heard. We need to be taken seriously. We need to be respected and spoken to as if we're people, not just women.
Yeah. First of all, I do really appreciate your work.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's very evocative, definitely very feeling.
Thank you.
Feel things.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to just comment on the way that you use words inside the frame.
Right.
And I'm curious. So actually, I have two questions. One of them is I'm curious, like, how did that come about?
Okay. Yeah, Judy asked me about that the other day, and with the writing, I've been writing from an early age. I did Nikki Giovanni. She was my inspiration. I mean, I liked the way she wrote. It wasn't rhyming, but it was just. Yeah. And she's a woman, obviously. Okay, so so the writing was always there, and long ago I did a series with words, and my mother praised it up and down. Really wanted that. So I've been writing and I've been drawing, and it kind of blogs together. I don't know how the brain works, but if you were to look at it, there would be some kind of firing connection scientifically, probably. But when I'm doing the work, these words go down as I draw. At this point, my brain just, and then I'm just, and then I'll come up and I'll write it in. But I write. And a lot of times I'll, get a full thing. They come together. It's interesting the way that, the thinking process for that. It's very intuitive.
That is very interesting.
And yeah, so that's kind of the form. And then the way that, the kind of gripping and carving into the surface of the dress, what I do. My mother carves, and so I have been doing this, and it's sort of just like a thing. You know how animals, like cats, go like this?
Yeah.
This is my Pooh Bear takeoff. A lot of people like Winnie the Pooh, but I found it very interesting because it's so, it lends itself to such the characters just feel like, well, it's not just for kids, but it feels like, well, this was a play on obsessive compulsive disorder and some of these kind of emotional disorders that some of the characters, they were struggling. Look at Eeyore, and it was just, and always putting themselves down so obviously. And as an adult reading this, I'm like, wow, a child, that's an interesting message. But this one, riddled with shame and anxiety, a worrisome Pooh Bear desperately goes for the one pounding thought that won't pass. A spontaneous catastrophe. No getting it fast enough. Slobbering through the viscous substance, sticky sweet. A second of relief. Then swallowed back into the vigilant mind film. And that's obsessive compulsive disorder, when you don't, and then also just eat. I had anorexia for like 40 years, and it left me, of course, you are what you eat or not eat it. So I want all the young girls to know that. But I think the shame of eating and the weird thing about food, which is genetic. My aunt has an eating disorder. She would totally relate to this. She would be like, because you feel like when you eat. You never learned how to eat normally because eating's a shameful activity that and you can't even, you're used to trying to get it out of your mouth, and now you can't get it in if you want to get it. And it's just, you don't have proper, my biological father, he was so upset, he tried to get me to eat with silverware correctly, and but the writing comes out, and the drawings come out, and they just come out together.
Thank you.
All right, I have another question then about the follow-up. So does do you write the poems and then the drawings evolve from the poems, or do you
Both,
do the
yeah,
drawing and the poem together? Are they
Yeah,
are they
pretty
just
much
happening
together.
simultaneously?
I've been doing medical marijuana, and I used to run, and now I use the elliptical machine. But when I'm exercising, my brain, I start to have ideas, and I'll quickly write them down. And you know, people do that when they run. Actually, I heard about somebody who runs with a writing, and they come up with these words like you're a musician. And I think of it like music. You're writing a song, you're singing, and I don't know what they do first because I don't write music, but maybe it's like that. I mean, so when I'm exercising, when I'm coming up and I'm having these ideas come to me, I jot them down, I talk them into this, and then lately I've been using, I strike a pose for these, is how these were working. And I took a selfie of me feeling that way and just kind of poured it all out. So this was the day after the election. And I had, and I
2024?
yeah, just this one that's now. And I just poured it. I was shocked. I was so sad and so scared. And I know that marijuana I don't understand, it's so hard to get, it could work. So I guess I was thinking about things that the government or who knows, I don't want to talk about that. But it just poured out of me all over the place, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, this was fabulous. Then I
Thanks.
think we're about ready to kind of wrap up, take a break.